starter squad for an RTG. Now we're taking various things into consideration here. It's price and the player's suitability for their position. Now in terms of what players you pick, there's going to be a guideline for you guys in terms of each position and what players I recommend you picking based on their stats. Now in terms of formation, I'm going for a standard 4-2-3-1. It's because I'm using this formation at the start, and from what I've heard, it's going to be one of the best formations that we can use. Remember, these are estimated prices, and I'm going for around 300,000 coins as an RTG starter squad. Up top, we have Jota in the striker position, simply because of how all-rounded this guy is. Now, you're probably thinking, Aussie, he could be worth 300k at the start. Well, it wouldn't surprise me because he is Liverpool. However, I do estimate he's only going to be around that 80 to 90 to 100,000 coin mark, so it is going to be the most expensive card for us up top. But Diego Jota, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. Now for me, the striker position is super important, especially with the work rates as well as the pace. Now also this year in FIFA 23, I've noticed that defending is something where you have to be a little bit more passive compared to previous years instead of full-on pressing MS-DOS style. So having your striker come back just a little bit won't be the worst thing ever, and so I think a striker with a high work rate will be the best for you guys. Jota has all-rounded stats, 85 pace, which I think is suitable for the striker position, and I think for you guys, if you're picking a striker, you need to have a bare minimum of 82 pace or above, otherwise you will struggle getting in behind. I also take into account dribbling, and this is going to be a key stat for you guys in every single position, including the striker position. That's because of how dribbling is this year. It's very hard to turn with the left stick. I've broken that down in a previous video for you. However, what I will say is Jota seems to be the best pick for that position. We're then moving to the left mid and right mid, the winger positions for the 4-2-3-1. And of course, most formations will have wingers, so take into account my recommendations here. We're looking for pace, we're looking for dribbling, and really not so much passing or shooting. You're probably thinking, well, they're attackers. Shooting's important. Yes, of course, it is. But when you actually take into account what these players are being used for, then it makes sense. Using them to get in behind, to turn the jets on and burn down the line. For the right wing position, we have Anthony. It's no surprise here. I mean, look at the man. Skiller galore. The man knows how to skill, which means that 5-star skill moves will be a very useful attacking tool for us going forward. He's also got pace, 93, very fast, very nippy, and I think he will definitely get in behind for you guys and be able to counter attack for you. Of course, we then have dribbling. Again, 86 dribbling, not too bad. You can able to weave in and out, and with dribbling how it is, we need high dribbling stat players, otherwise we're going to struggle with the left stick this year. I estimate around that 30 to 40k mark for the starter price for Anthony, which takes us to around that 130 to 140,000 coin mark. Saint Maximin. What a card this is. It could be the second most expensive card for us. However, it's necessary. The skill moves are there. 5-star. What a man. What a legend. He can skill down the line. He's got that pace, 90 pace. It's what we're looking for, as I said, on that wing position. Skill moves, pace, dribbling, and he's not short of dribbling. 88 dribbling. He's going to be able to maneuver in and out of tackles, and that's the best thing about him. Of course, as I said, dribbling is lackluster this year. As you can see from previous videos I've uploaded on the channel, it's very sluggish, and so high dribbling stats on our attackers is going to be more necessary than ever. We then take into account the cam position. Of course, this is something which is debatable in terms of what is the best to use in this position, but I usually go for all-rounded stats in this position. And you will look, I have Lucas Paqueta in there from West Ham. The man has 72 pace, 88 dribbling, 78 shooting, 79 passing, and 78 physical. He's also got decent defending, 69, so he can drop back and cover those passing lanes if need be. The man also has 5-star skill moves. Again, as I said, skill moves super important this year, simply because you can't use necessarily dribbling to burst into the space. So your skill moves like your reverse elastico and your elastico are going to be more necessary than ever in terms of exploiting, creating space, and in general getting away from that defender. We then look at the 2 CDM positions. Now what I'm looking for here is essentially one player that's more attacking minded, one player that's more defensive minded. I'm also looking for someone who can dribble a little bit, and then someone who's a bit bulkier, a bit taller, someone can lunge out like a Vieira style tackle. And of course, not a better man to do that than Declan Rice. A cheap beast, I believe, this year. He's got 82 defending, 83 physical, very good defensive stats, and decent pace at 71. I see him being around that 20,000 coin mark at the start, okay, which does take us to around that 150,000 coin mark. Plus Paqueta, again, another 10k or so. So I'm looking at around 160, 170,000 coins so far for the cards in this squad. But Declan Rice for me, very bulky, very tall, and can make those tackles. Then of course have Fred, a cheap beast. I think it could be a card that's that Kante-esque, if you know what I'm saying. Short, agile, can get across the pitch quite quickly. Decent pace at 76, and of course 81 dribbling. I said we need that more attacking mind player, and with the 81 dribbling of Fred, it'll come in handy. He's also got 4-star skill moves. What does this mean? We're able to get away from tackles using various skill moves, whether it's the La Quiqueta, whether it's the Berber spin, whatever it is, it's going to be useful with that 4-star skill moves. Fred seems to be all-rounded. He's got decent defending as well at 75. He is on the shorter side, but as I said, we need that shorter, agile type player like a Kante-esque style midfielder, and of course we then pair them with Declan Rice, who's that taller, lankier style player. And I think the Fred, he's going to come in around that 30,000 coin mark, so it is going to be more of an expensive midfielder in my opinion, but definitely worth it. We then move to the wing bats. Now this is super crucial, especially for myself in terms of how I play. Now the wing bats are the players that touch the ball the most out of any player in my squad, and that's simply because I like to use the wing attack technique where we take the ball to the wing and drag the defense out to that side to open up gaps in the middle. What does this mean? They're going to have the ball the majority of the time. I'm going to be using them a lot, which means I need to have at least decent dribbling stats with my wing bats. I never look at pace so much. A lot of people do. With my wing bats, I'm always looking at that dribbling stat to see if I'm able to maneuver away from a tackle if the time comes. So a minimum of at least 77, 78 dribbling for your wing bats is going to be very crucial in my opinion, especially with how dribbling is, and especially if you're wanting to use a formation which has width and you're going to be passing to your wing bats quite often. The right back position we have Semedo, of course 80 dribbling and 83 pace. Defensive stats are decent as well. I can see this guy coming in at around that 20,000 coin mark, so it is a little bit more of an expensive side, around that 10 to 15,000 coin mark. So on that expensive side, but it takes us to around the 190, 200,000 coin mark for our squad. Now in terms of Semedo as well, he's got that 4-star skill moves. This means we're able to use him up the pitch, and I think personally, because dribbling is lackluster this year, I'm going to need more attacking options and more passing options so that I don't always need to rely on dribbling to get away from tackles. I can just pass it away, and having my wing bats get forward will allow me to do this. So I think having Semedo on overlap, having him with those attacking minded stats, that will benefit me greatly. But then I have Tierney, okay, 84 pace. I did pick Tierney for the pace side of things, but he's also got 78 dribbling, so decent, and with the chemistry style that'll boost that just a little bit, enable him to get away from tackles when he is on the ball. The man also has 76 defending and 79 physical, so not a bad card, and I still see him again around that 15, 20,000 coin mark, simply because he's a left back from the Premier League and he's quite decent in terms of stat wise. So he is a very good card. I think it's going to be a very good one for you guys to use at the left back position and for our starter squads in the RTG. Moving to the defense, I have an LFC partnership here. You're probably thinking, oh, here we go, the bias coming out in Aussie. Well, of course it is, but I think these cards look very decent and they're going to be relatively on the cheap side, at least under that 40,000 coin mark in my opinion. Of course, I think we only really need to take into account pace in my opinion, at least a bare minimum of 75, but if they have decent defensive stats to go with that, then they're a better centre back for you guys to choose. We have Gomez, of course, 80 pace, okay, he's got the pace to keep up with attackers, which is important, and with a shadow, the man could do a job, in my opinion. He's also got decent dribbling for a centre-back, and I do like that. 69 dribbling. Not bad, especially with how dribbling will be, and of course 78 physical. Not on the strongest, but for a starter team and for a starter centre-back, definitely one to go for. I think he's only going to set us back around that 40 to 50,000 coin mark, in my opinion, from the start, so it is a decent option for us. Without Kanate, more of a bulkier centre-back, and one that's going to put in a shift, especially against the stronger strikers, including Haaland or CR7. 78 pace, 80 physical, 82 defending for the man, and he's decent looking, I tell you that, for free, and he's got decent dribbling again, 67, not bad for a centre-back, so it's one that we can definitely rely on to get away from a tackle, if need be, in a last-ditch situation. He's going to link with Gomez, of course, and I think he's going to be a great centre-back for that left CB position. Kanate, I think he definitely will set us back around that 20 to 30,000 coin mark, specifically because he's from Liverpool, and of course he's got decent stats. We then move to the GK position. Pope has to be. What a starter keeper this has always been. The man, the myth. He's very tall, save long shots, and long shots and how they are, what I've heard, you're going to need a tall keeper this year, lads. So in terms of your goalkeeper, Pope is what we're looking for. 83 reflexes for the man, 280 diving, 82 handling, 80 positioning. Very all-rounded. I like the look of him, to be honest with you. I see him sending us back around that 10k mark, in my opinion, from the start, because he's only an 81 rated card, and of course, there's many keepers for us to choose from. So I think Pope is going to be on the cheaper side, but definitely one to choose because, of course, of that height, and of course, the stats on him look pretty unreal. So there you have it, my recommendations for a Premier League starter squad for an RTG. Of course, we're looking for around that 300k price tag, and I think we've hit it here. If it's a bit over, it could be around that 350k mark, but don't crucify me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Do you have any recommendations that I could have changed in here for the squad? Let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, I'm coaching one-on-one FIFA 23, transitioning people from 22 to 23, taking them from low divisions to high divisions. If you want to be a part of that, I'm also bringing on board some big names into the academy to help with the coaching, and they are going to be very helpful for the lads already in there. If you want to be a part of it, don't miss out. The Patreon link is down below. Of course, follow me on Instagram as well. The link is down below. Doing FIFA 23 giveaways throughout the year, so if you want to be a part of that, down below, lads. But as always, sayonara, au revoir, adios, salam, ciao, goodbye.